We are now several practices into 2021 Jaguars training camp, so let's go ahead and go over some players whose stocks are rising and stocks are falling. Now, I want to start this on a positive note. I want to talk about someone whose stock is really rising to me, and that is wide receiver Marvin Jones. Now, Marvin Jones is a very productive receiver, and we kind of overlooked this signing really in this free agency period. I think a big reason why is because we've gone out there and signed veteran wide receivers, and they really haven't amounted to much. We've gone out there and signed wide receiver Dante Moncrief. He did nothing. Wide receiver Chris Conley. He just wasn't very good. And then now we go out and sign Marvin Jones. But Marvin Jones is a much more accomplished guy and just a whole all-around better guy. I mean, he's coming off of a season with 978 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns, and he had 9 touchdowns the season before that as well. And really, one thing that you're really reading around a lot is that Trevor has been really having a real connection with this guy. A lot of the Trevor made a big throw, and usually the receiving end of that throw is Marvin Jones. And it's pretty exciting. Marvin Jones is a big reason. I think another reason why we're overlooking it is because he is a little bit older. He's 31 years old, but he hasn't really showed any signs of regression. And until he does, we really can't sit here and say that he's like, that he's kind of long tooth or whatever the kind of expression is. So Marvin Jones, we actually have a true veteran in the receiver room. Got a lot of young guys with Colin Johnson, DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault. We overlook a lot of these guys because, you know what I mean? Or we overlook Marvin Jones because we have a lot of these guys. Now let's talk about a guy whose stock is falling in my eyes, and pretty much in everybody's eyes. I think everyone can agree with this, and that is cornerback CJ Henderson. CJ Henderson, last year, I mean, he was a number 9 overall pick, invested a big deal of really draft capital into him, and when CJ Henderson is on, he's pretty good. He had some really standout games last year against, week 1 against Indianapolis. He had a really good game against Green Bay, and he was a little bit up and down last year, but only played half the season because of a groin injury, and he was out the rest of the season. And then he comes back in and he misses OTAs due to a shoulder issue. And then now he hasn't practiced at all in training camp. And now he's really missing valuable reps, and we're in the middle of pads right now, and he still isn't back. So a lot of us are sitting here like, what is going on with CJ Henderson? Like, where is he at? And, they talk to the coaches about it. And usually the coaches are like really optimistic. They're like, oh, CJ's fine. He's getting rehabbed up. He's good. And then today we really saw the first sign of frustration when it comes to Urban Meyer actually like taking him at camp. Usually he's on the bike. He took the bike and put it right next to, the team where they were stretching like 30 feet away, and had him ride right next to them during, their stretching, because he hasn't been around the team much at all. And you sit here and wonder, like, there's all these different rumors going around about CJ Henderson. Like, a lot of people say he's not happy here. He never wanted to be on the Jaguars. But you look at it and it's like, is that the case? You know what I mean? Okay, maybe he didn't want to be on the team last year. We were bad. We had not a very good head coach, no quarterback. This year, we turned it around. We got a whole different head coach and, quarterback and whatnot. So is it the city of Jacksonville in general? That's also weird to me because he seems like a very introverted guy. So why would he not want to play in Jacksonville where he's not going to be the big market spotlight? Because if he was over there for the New York Giants, for example, he'd be getting killed right now for what he's doing. So it's just a weird situation. It's like, you know what I mean? Does he want to be here? Like, what is going on with him? Is he serious? Like, is he really serious about this football team? Like, none of us really have any idea, and all we can really do is just assume. And it stinks because we don't really want to do that. You know what I mean? So I don't know how to feel about CJ Henderson. He's very talented if he wants to be here, but I immediately started freaking out about CJ Henderson when we drafted Tyson Campbell. When we signed Shaquille Griffin to be a cornerback. That was not the ordinary. Then you invest a 33rd overall pick in a cornerback when we already have a full group, at least two starting outside guys. A little bit weird. Something to monitor with CJ Henderson, but man, he needs to get out there in a hurry, and he needs to start showing something, or else it's just be another bad first round pick for this team. Now, a player whose stock is really up is our left tackle, Walker Little. Now, Walker Little was drafted number 45 overall, and a big reason why he fell in the draft is because the last 2 years, he's only really played one game. But it looks like right now he's really refreshed. Like he's out there, he's really like a full go. And, maybe even resting might have helped him out a little bit because he's got some fresh joints. He hasn't had a lot of pressure on them in the last 2 years. So he's pretty fresh and, really ready to go. Now you look at this situation, it's like, okay, we drafted Walker Little. That's good. On paper, we see, okay, he gets to sit behind Cam Robinson for a year. Then he comes in next year and he's got the starting spot. But you look at it, man, and the way he's mauling people, I mean, he's being spoke of really highly, around Jaguars camp, and everybody's talking high of him. And then right now, our most important asset is Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence is out, then I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, look what happened last year with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, the offensive line was bad. Joe Burrow got hurt, and now at training camp, Joe Burrow apparently looks like a completely different guy. He's not making his routine throws, and he's just not the same guy. We can't have that happen with Trevor Lawrence. So with that said, we need to get our best 5 players out there. And there's a very good chance that, maybe Cam Robinson is a starting left tackle. Maybe Walker Little is better than right tackle Jawan Taylor. Like, the Jaguars are going to work to get their top 5 best guys out there. And, Walker Little, I mean, like I said, he could definitely be a starting player for us this year. And if he's as advertised, man, that would be crucial because we have the 2 most expensive players on the team. When it comes to if you're going to sign a guy to a max contract, that's usually quarterback and left tackle. And not only are those guys on rookie deals, those guys are in the rookie year of their rookie deals. So it's going to give the Jaguars so much flexibility, over the course of the next few years when it comes to actually where they want to spend money in free agency. Now, a player whose stock is falling a little bit is defensive end / outside linebacker K'Lavon Chaisson. Now, of course, I haven't really seen a lot of that firsthand. I had to kind of see what Twitter has to say, and a lot of the stuff, especially in run blocking, he's being pretty much dominated. Now, and unfortunately, like, if the Jaguars, if he becomes a player that is really in here on 3rd and long, kind of plays like obvious passing situations, and he's a guy that he can line up in the wide 9, way outside the tackle, and kind of use speed and and finesse to kind of get to the quarterback, that's an okay role for him. But at the same time, we invested number 20 overall pick in this guy. I mean, we need him to. It's fine if it's like a 5th round pick that does that, but this guy might be a liability in run stopping. And really with Chaisson, he really has to work on like getting his hands on the offensive lineman first and just kind of getting it out of there. Because if an offensive lineman, with the size difference, if they pretty much get their hands on him first, he's pretty much done just because he is severely like outsized by these guys. So that's a big thing with K'Lavon Chaisson. Of course, we need to really see more of the pads on and really more pass rushing situations to see him. We're not totally like calling him off as, a potential great player for the Jaguars, but man, this is looking like CJ Henderson, the same exact draft, same exact round in the 1st round. We need some improvement out of this, and hopefully we get that. Now, a player who seems like his stock is rising is cornerback Shaquill Griffin. I mean, Shaquill Griffin comes in here. He's a great teammate. One thing about signing these veteran guys is not only are they a veteran on the field, but they're a veteran off the field. He comes from a winning organization with the Seattle Seahawks. He knows exactly like what it takes to be a great teammate, what teammates need to do in their, free time. They need to be with each other and stuff like that. So he's just been an overall like great teammate. And also he comes in here and he's a great hype man. I mean, he comes in here and like he really shows out, like he pumps the fans up and all that, like, and he pumps the defense up. It's pretty cool to see him out there. And most importantly, he's a great player. I mean, he's been really the leading cornerback on a team, especially with the cornerback room being a little weird right now with CJ Henderson being out and, Tyson Campbell kind of working his way in there. Tyson Campbell's been getting more backup roles as he kind of transitions into this defense. But Shaquill Griffin looking like a really good free agent signing. So I kind of have him as a stock up. Now, a player I have for stock down is the bumbling idiot Taven Bryan. I mean, This guy has just literally been the butt of all jokes for Jaguar fans ever since we drafted him. We obviously always compare him to Lamar Jackson because we drafted him before Lamar Jackson. I mean, when you look at him on a football field, like if you ask him where Jacksonville is, he probably doesn't even know what state Jacksonville is. He just has no football instincts. He's a big dude. He comes into like the training camp with a black eye, and now he's on like the reserve COVID list. I have no idea what's going on with Taven Bryan, but I really hope this is the last time I have to mention his name until we hear news that he's been cut, because I just feel like he's a lost cause at this point. You know, he's got the size, he's got some of the things you want at the defensive tackle, but his football instincts, we've seen after 3 years, they're just not there. And at this point, I don't know how well you can develop that. And at this point, last year we saw we're getting guys off the streets and they're kind of outperforming him. So Taven Bryan obviously stock down. He hasn't practiced at all, came in with a freaking black eye. I don't know what's going on with him, but you know, his Jaguar tenure needs to be ended. Now, next up, a player whose stock seems to be rising. Some honorable mentions include Josh Allen, Damian Wilson, the linebacker, as well as Travis Etienne. But I want to kind of go into Andre Cisco. Now, Andre Cisco has been really, since pads came on, apparently he's been like the most impressive in pads. He's been super physical, and like he's been getting some rest with the starters. You know, he tore his ACL last year, but he seems to come back just fine. And, you know, he fills a big time need for the Jaguars. We drafted him top of the 3rd round out of Syracuse. If he can come in there and fill that safety role, I mean, we could have a real mean safety group with Rayshawn Jenkins and Andre Cisco in there. You know, I kind of wanted to throw him in there just because pads have come on, and you know, he's been showing some real impressiveness out of that spot, and even Rayshawn Jenkins spoke a little proudly of him. Now, last, I want to kind of throw in here as a stock down, and this will come kind of as a surprise to a lot of you guys, but I kind of want to mention DJ Chark as a stock down. Mainly because, for a couple reasons, and I'm really kind of reaching here, but I just want to say this. I mean, he came in and Urban Meyer called him out, said that he needs to gain weight. You know, he was a big guy that played small last year, and I give DJ Chark a lot of credit. He came back stronger and did exactly what Urban Meyer says. And now, like, Urban Meyer, like, has really been working with him a lot when it comes to a lot of his skill sets and a lot of things with him. And I know a lot of fans are sitting here excited because of it. But I wonder why he is working with DJ Chark so much as opposed to any other wide receiver on the field, like Laviska Shenault or like, you know, Marvin Jones. Is it a case where like Marvin Jones and Laviska Shenault are pretty much good, but DJ Chark needs the extra work for his development? Like, I don't know. I mean, you know, we'll kind of see more, but like the thing is, I haven't been hearing DJ Chark's name a lot really when it comes to him in training camp. I will say today, he did have 2 touchdown grabs, which is interesting and good, obviously. But I don't know. It's something to definitely monitor because DJ Chark is in a contract year. But, you know, like Urban Meyer's really working with him a lot. You know, I don't know if he's right where Urban Meyer wants him to be. I don't know, something to monitor, but a huge year for DJ Chark coming up. And obviously we have a very crowded wide receiver room with a lot of wide receivers, you know, from Philip Dorsett to Laquan Treadwell making a lot of plays. So we'll see who really emerges out of this group. But right now it seems like Marvin Jones is kind of the lead guy in this wide receiver room. But I still think great things out of DJ Chark. Don't sit here and say I'm bashing him because I just kind of wanted to mention that a part of this video. So that's the video. Let me know what you guys think of everything. Let me know some of your guys who think stocks up and stocks down. Also, big shout out to all the members of the channel for all you guys do. Fantasy football news coming out soon in regards to the members of the channel. And like I said, thank you for watching. Smash that like button if you're excited for the Jaguars. And go Jags. You guys watched the whole video. Really appreciate that. You guys can subscribe to the channel for the best source of Jaguars news on the YouTube platform. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at UCF_Jaguar. And you can become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month for exclusive channel content. Thank you guys and go Jags.